Hari Om and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is Yamuna Devi. I have a question for you. Has it ever happened to you that you do your best in something and it was never enough? Like you felt that you could do better next time and better, and it was just this consistent feeling of wanting to do more because it was never enough. This is a topic that we usually don't talk about, and it's really important to discuss. And it's the feeling of never being enough, the feeling of self-worth, of competing with ourselves. We're constantly trying to compete with ourselves because in our mind we have this kind of phrase, right? Yesterday was good, but tomorrow will be better. Like we compare ourselves constantly with our past, and we want to do better and even our best. And sometimes this could be hurtful. This could be hurtful because we have a high expectation of ourselves and what we can achieve, what we want to achieve. This is our self-competing with ourselves. This can be very hurtful. It can create stress, over-exhausting stress, because you feel like you're never getting there. Like you want more and you're not satisfied with yourself and how you are doing. This happens a lot, and we burn out, and then we create imbalances within our body, within our relationships, within ourself. So sometimes the competition is outside, but a lot of the time the competition is with ourself. And why does this exist? Why does this happen? This is an imbalance of not accepting yourself, of judging yourself, criticizing yourself, hurting yourself, because we are looking at someone else and we feel that we can do better than that person as well. Why does that person have that advantage when I can get there too? So you start creating this whole image of yourself in that person, when you can be just yourself and let the person shine and you shine, because everyone's gifts are unique and special. You are special. The other person is special. Never compare. That comparison hurts. And that fighting with yourself to perform better, we need to be satisfied with our gifts, what we can do. You can study and you can try to get there and be happy with what you have where you are, and not stress yourself or hurt yourself. There is an imbalance in Ayurveda that is created by Pitta dosha. Pitta dosha is this perfectionist mentality that has a very strong drive to have everything done correctly. But what we don't understand and we don't see is that this drive can also hurt us, right? This Pitta drive can also hurt them, because they want everything so perfect that even if it's just a little imperfect, they get stressed, they get overwhelmed, they get angry, irritated, frustrated. And guess who's that's hurting? That's only hurting the person who's experiencing that frustration, that anger. You know, yourself. The person who is creating it is experiencing it. Always that need to control. That Pitta energy is fire and water, and there's always this need to have everything in line, in perfect order, a certain way, a certain organization. And when that becomes too much, that is where it begins to hurt us. So how far can you get into that order? Can you have everything set and perfectly set in order? When we understand that life is not perfect, that nothing is perfect, and we stop comparing ourselves to ourselves from yesterday or ourselves from before, from the past, everything changes. We're constantly changing every day. So how can we compare ourselves today from yesterday when it was a different person? Today is today. We're living in the past. So love and accept your gifts at this moment. Accept yourself. Say to yourself, I am worthy. I am not what I do. Because that is another thing. We start confusing our worth, our self-worth, with how good we do the things we're doing, and how perfect we do it, and how accurate. But we are none of those. That moment that we start believing that we are what we do, we suffer. We lose our identity. We lose who we truly are. We create more imbalance, more frustration, more irritability. When that starts exceeding, when that becomes constant, guess what's happening? We start increasing our anxiety. The anxiety within our body starts increasing. We start losing clarity. And imagine someone who is Pitta losing clarity, someone who is so perfectionist, so in the lines, right? Starts losing their clarity. They begin to get even more unsteady, upset, angry, irritated, frustrated. And the only person that's hurting is ourself. No one else. So how about if I tell you that it's okay to be soft with yourself, that it's okay to relax? I give you permission to relax, to settle into yourself, and to do fun things. Even the fun things. Person who is Pitta, imbalance, or when it's aggravated Pitta, they will even try to perfect the fun things they're doing, their hobbies. If they're painting, they will paint like very perfect, and they will get angry if it gets out of the line, or even something fun, they will get angry. And how could you live angry all the time? If it happens, okay, like that is the beauty of being human. That imperfection is the beauty of being human. I wanted to share something with you. When I was teaching yoga at the university, we have these kind of fairs, right? This like fair that you exhibit what you're teaching to educate the students so that they can participate in the classes. And I had the yoga sign outside, and obviously yoga and meditation go hand in hand. And one student, curious, he came around and he asked me, he says, how long do you meditate for? And I was looking at him, and I was really, really young. And I remember my Guruji, that says that every moment is meditation. As long as you have your awareness, even walking can be meditation. So imagine how much of your day can be meditation. But he was expecting a number. And I told him, are you breathing in and out? He says, yes, of course. He says, meditation as long as you're breathing in and out, you can do. And he says, I meditate 3 hours a day. And I'm thinking, like, in those 3 hours, in that cusp of 3 hours, the mind fluctuates a lot. The more time passes in your meditation, it fluctuates too much. So meditation, it becomes a little difficult. So meditation can be done short time, and it can happen instantly. It could happen even when you're walking. There's no set rule as long as you're aware and you're mindful. So I told him, as long as you're breathing in and out, you can meditate. And I was very relaxed and easygoing because I knew where he was coming from. He was expecting a number and he wanted to compare. What if I would have told him I meditate 4 hours after he told me 3? He would have been angry with it. Like, oh my gosh, how do you do 4 hours? I don't. It's difficult. 4 hours sitting and just meditating, your life becomes a meditation. So I told him, I said, that is wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Continue practicing. It's a really beautiful practice. And he went on happy and he left. Validation. They wanted validation. Right? But if I would have gone against him, he would have been very angry. Because he wanted to prove that what he was doing was competitive. But in life, there is no competition. There is no competition with ourselves either. That is very exhausting. The moment you start competing, what are you competing for? That's the ego that wants to feed off of that competition. We are all brothers and sisters. We're here to serve each other, to love each other, to take care of each other. The people who have that competition mindset, let them be. Honestly speaking, I've had to let that go because I love everything done correctly. I do things correctly, but I do not want to stress out or hurt myself when things come out of the line or things don't work the certain way. So I'm taking these singing classes. And I've never sang in a class before, in a setting of teaching certain sounds. And it's beautiful because I just laugh at myself when I don't reach a certain note, and that's okay. Maybe my older self would have been upset, I can't get there, frustrated. But now I've realized that it's not worth it, that it's here to be enjoyed, that we can work through it. Everyone can sing. Everyone has that capability. It's within them, but it's our mind that stops us. Our mind, emotion, mental program that stops us from reaching what we want. I also, for those of you who don't know, I lived in Japan for 2 years. I don't like to share so many things because I want to learn. But I'm sharing because it's part of my life and we're talking about it and I thought it was interesting. So many people tell me, oh, Japanese is such a hard language, it's impossible. But it's also impossible if we set our mind to it being impossible. We can learn anything without hurting ourselves. We can make learning fun and enjoyable, and we can make it happen without stressing ourselves, just being casually enjoying. Because when you are more relaxed, guess what happens? Information flows and you grasp information quickly. But if you are stressed and frustrated, guess what? Your mind kind of closes in, right? That energy closes in and it contracts, and it does not allow for you to allow for growth to happen, for that space of learning to happen. So free yourself from all these things. Slowly, slowly. Do one thing at a time. Catch yourself. If you see yourself trying to be too perfect and getting frustrated, okay, just observe that frustration. It happens when you're beginning to undo those patterns, because those patterns are not from now. This is happening from early stages of life. That there's a lot of expectations trying to be met, expectation from others, and then you create this expectation for yourself. But that expectation is actually hurting us. In Ayurveda, we want to experience balance. We want to experience harmony. We want to love ourselves, enjoy life, not hurt ourselves, and be miserable. So take the steps to observe yourself. Observe when this comes up. It happens, you know. I said I decided to laugh, and I laugh for fun, to relax. And life is fun. Enjoy it. Mistakes happen. Don't be so hard on yourself. It happens. And just allow life to be filled with that light. Light is within you. You have all the tools within you. You have all the gifts within you, but you are not utilizing them properly because you are investing your mental energy in other things. Don't look at the other person, what they're doing, because you will never feel you are good enough. You are not perfect enough. You will feel that there are things that you need to change because you are comparing yourself to someone totally different from you. You are a universe. You are this microcosm, this little universe within the big universe. And every person is a little microcosm, a little universe. And they are beautiful the way they are. You are beautiful the way you are. And there's nothing that needs to change. So how can you compare one universe with another universe? You can't. They are perfect the way they are. We are perfect the way we are. But that moment that we start comparing, we will never be good enough because that person is different. But the moment you accept that you are different and that person is different, you are special and that person's special. You have gifts, that person has gifts too. You start accepting yourself. You value yourself. You are worthy. You value yourself, your self-worth. Yes, you are worthy. And I invite you to discover your gifts, to tap into that, how precious you are. This life that you have been given, it's never too late. Never too late. And we are constantly changing, we are constantly learning. So we cannot compare ourselves to the past. We're different, yes, you know. It's not linear. Life is not linear. Life fluctuates. We're growing, we're learning, we're understanding. So embrace change. Embrace your life. Allow your life to flow. And never compare. Don't hurt yourself in competition. There's no competition. The only competition that exists is a competition in the mind and our timer. Just be happy, do the best you can, and have fun. Have fun. So thank you so much for being here. I send you so much love. Thank you. Hari Om. Many blessings.